In the town of Bison, nobody leaves their home after dark. As soon as the sun begins to set, shutters were drawn shut, candles were snuffed out, the doors are locked at night. Before the moon is fully risen, the entire town appears to be deserted, and silence reigns supreme. "Did you hear that?" whispered Frigga, sounding very small and afraid of the dark. "Shut up!" her older brother Feud hissed through the clenched teeth as the eyed back black windows of the house are nearest to them. They were probably locked. Nobody in their right mind would leave their windows unlocked at night. Not in Byston, anyway. "I told you we shouldn't play in the forest," continued Frigga. "I said we should go back sooner." I said, "Shut up!" Feud went on, whining about the past that doesn't change the present. Feud then looked at his sister, shivering in the dark. "It doesn't change the situation that we're in." Before Frigga could respond, the faint sound of a child's laughter floated across from the wind. Goosebumps erupted wrong from Feud's neck and arms. Something about the sound seemed wrong. "Maybe there's another." Feud clasped her hand over Frigga's mouth, pulling her close. He shrank back into the shadows of the alley again. The unearthly sound drifted across the air. Frigga then tensed in Feud's arms as she realized the magnitude of their situation. A child's voice, oddly distorted, broke through the silence of the night like a fist through glass. Come out wherever you are!" The thing lumbered across the mouth of the alleyway, just a few feet away from Feud and Frigga's hiding place. It was roughly the size of a child, yet shuffled with its arms hanging grotesquely close to the ground, making the disproportionate body appear remarkably ape-like. It was completely nude and had no skin, so shocking right that it reflected from the glow from the crossed. Its face was perfectly smooth, the entire your body and had devoid of feature, save for the possibility of a wide smile within the lips of the color of blood. The crimson slash of its mouth appeared to be stretched from ear to ear. Feud let out a warm speed down his thighs and then let his bladder go. Frigga whimpered. The thing froze mid-stride, its body becoming as rigid as stone. Slowly it turned its torso until it was facing the alleyway, and then took an intensive step forward. Frigga sucked in hard breath as through her nose as she began to hyperventilate. As Feud clamped his hand over her mouth, but he was too late. Impossibly fast, the thing twisted its head, turning towards their hiding place, producing a sickening crackle from its neck. "Found you!" In the town of Bison, nobody leaves their home after dark. Every day the young ones are sternly told to be home by dusk. They are told of the evil that haunts the streets at night. They are told to always remain silent, because if they hear you, the children of the moon will tear you limb from limb. Well, my pretties, that was Children of the Moon, a creepypasta written by RadLad. My final thoughts on this story? Well, I'm going to be brutally honest. This story was actually quite of an interesting creepypasta. I'm not going to lie. It does have a really interesting concept. It's pretty messed up in detail, especially with how everything went out the way it did. It was honestly a pretty good story. I honestly do like this one a lot. I mean, this is like probably an older story because I've seen a couple of narrators actually narrate this one, so I thought, you know what? Why not go ahead and give this one a read? This one is definitely a pretty interesting story. Now, I will link the story of this in the description down below, so you guys can have a look at this story if you like. It's a pretty good story. I recommend it. I've seen other narrators narrate it, and I personally thought it was really interesting. I mean, it's messed up in that, but I still like the story. I thought it was a really good one. It was definitely well made. There's definitely a lot of time and effort into it. I personally enjoyed the story, even though it was dark and that. Now, anyways, with that being the case and with that being said, I can definitely say that right now, that this is honestly, the grammar of this story is pretty good. And especially with the believability and the dark, elements that were added into the story, it honestly suits this pretty well. So, with that being the case, and with that being said, apologies, I was just stretching. I definitely consider this as a pretty well-made story. It's definitely a good one. It's well-made in detail, and I personally think it's really amazing to see how great this story has become. Like, at least a pretty good concept, and when I first heard of this story narration, I think it was back in 2017, but that was before I got into creepypastas, because back then I wasn't really too interested at the time, but eventually I kind of grew interested in the creepypasta content, and I personally thought this is a good story. It still is. So anyways, with that being said, I'm going to sit here and just say that this is my own personal opinion. And I want to say, RadLad, great job with this story. I personally enjoyed this. So if you happen to come across this video, feel free to let me know what you thought of this story for yourself, because I personally liked it. I mean, it's an older story, yes, but I still found this to be a very enjoyable story. So with that being said, and that being the case, I give this story a 10 out of 10. It's a great story. It's definitely a pretty scary one. I mean, this comes to show you what scary things can happen at the night. I mean, it may not be exactly what this story portrayed, but you never know what could happen in the middle of the night. Because, this tells us that parents tell you kids to, be home before dark. And I think this gives a pretty good description and reason for it. So, with that being said and that being the case, what did you guys personally think of this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you all not? Also, what would you have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Lion Queen. I want to thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you're new to my channel, feel free to leave this video a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications to when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace out. And like always, please roll the outro, because I'm out of here.